You look great, man. How are you?
Well, thanks. Yeah, boy, I appreciate you look great. That's great.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you, so it's nice to catch up again. How are
Yeah,
things?
everything's going good. Notice the typewriter behind me there?
Yeah, that's lovely art. Where are you?
I'm at Anderson School in Bothell, Washington.
Okay, that's not
And
where you normally live, right?
it's not a real school. It's a McMinnville's thing. So we're at a hotel.
So are you on holiday right now, as we would call it?
I am. Yep.
Wow, that's great. It must be nice being a big rock star. You get to just hang out in hotels and like be on holiday all the time, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, gigs late at night, and we get up late, and we get up and we do things like this, and then we go play golf all day, and then go back and do the gig.
Were you partying last night with like the Stones and stuff? What were you doing?
Well, we partying with the Russians.
Oh, really? Some Russian rock bands? That sounds fun.
My wife is Russian.
Oh, okay. I get you. Well, look, man, you're here in a eighth grade classroom, really. I know it's a Zoom room, so it's a little different. We got some teachers here that are joining us. We've got Miss O'Connor's class. She has some middle schoolers over at Dunaway. And then we have Mr. Miller's class. He has some middle and high schoolers in his classroom from Iowa. So Mr. Miller and I are cousins, and we kind of sort of do the same type of thing for work. And
Oh,
we love having students, and so we brought them together to listen to some music today, you know?
well, excellent. I'm here to give it to you.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's 70s week. That's why I got the Woodstock shirt on. I know that was 69, but we're really like transitioning from 60s to 70s, so it's sort of perfect.
Yeah.
Um, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you would relate to the 1970s and the sounds that come out of that era?
Well, I was born in 1961. That would make me 60 years old. And so when I was actually going into junior high, that's when I really started to listen to music. I actually started in the 60s, but I didn't know how to play. My mom bought me a guitar from S&H Green Stamps, and I pretended like I knew how to play. I was doing a bunch of Beatles stuff. And then by the time the 70s hit, I started to begin to get some chops down, and I really liked the music that was happening. So I was actually in junior high when I had my first band, and we did a gig at the all school assembly. It was called the Franklin Follies, and we were one of the bands. We actually won it, and we were doing the song "Tush" by ZZ Top. So there you go.
Wait a second. So you were in a band at the same age that these kids are at, right?
Absolutely. Yep. That was my
And you're
first band. We were called. We get this name. This is pretty cool. We were called Hear No Evil. And on our drummer's drum set, we had a picture of a monkey, and he was going like this.
that is good. How did you get your instruments back then or learn to play?
Well, like I said, my first guitar that I got was S&H Green Stamps. It wasn't real good, but I saved my money. My dad made me work. He says, if you're going to play and you're going to get these instruments, you're going to pay for them. So I worked at a Pizza Hut, and I washed dishes, earned a bunch of money, and just started buying music instruments and PA equipment and stuff like that.
Wow, that's incredible. So who from the 70s did you like sound like, would you say, in those early times? I mean, you said ZZ Top, but
Well, in your mind, you think like you sound like everybody, but that's not really true. So I really got into Bachman Turner Overdrive. That was really cool. And yeah, Taking Care of Business. That was really cool when that came out. And so we just did that one forever. Also liked ZZ Top, like I said. And to kind of mellow things out, there was a band called Bread, and that was really cool. That was some pretty cool stuff. Nice mellow stuff. What it does is it helps you to fall in love. Hey, have you ever tried? Pretty cool song.
yeah, I like that song. Very smooth. Would you say that's a folk song? We did folk a couple weeks ago.
I'd say yes. So yeah, it's folk.
Nice.
And then as things progressed on, there was this cool band that came out called Boston. That was towards the end of the 70s. And then things really got cool. Like, and that was cool. I'm going to tilt my camera down a little bit so maybe you can see my guitar as well. There we go.
Yeah, I'd like to see that handy strumming that you're doing. What is that? That doesn't look like a typical of the guitar. What is that?
It's called a backpacker made by Martin. And it's designed to take on back camping trips. So you can put it on the back of your pack and just pack it up the woods and play. So it's a real guitar. It's just missing the body. And I've got the body to make up for that. So I can sit in a reclining chair with arms and this doesn't get in the way. I play this one the most. So it's pretty cool. There's rock and roll for you.
That's wonderful. We also need to make sure we introduce you as the father to we three, right? You have some amazing children.
That's correct. Yep. I sign things off or open things up when I say the three, my three, we three.
Oh, very good. And we had Josh with us a couple months ago. He was fabulous. He played some piano, keyboard, I guess, and some he sang even, and we were like, wow, you can actually sing really well, Josh. It was really great to have him.
Yeah, he does real good.
And they sent us, I don't know if a lot of our students knew this, they sent us 3 CDs, autographed, and some posters. So it's like we're in their fan club.
Well, that is really cool. They haven't done that for me yet. Huh.
Oh, well, yeah.
Great.
Well, we're cool kids, we're far out, man. We're groovy. All right, you want to play us a song from the 70s so we can hear what that sounds like back in those days?
Sure. This one was recorded in 1971 by the Doobie Brothers. It was their first big hit. And by 72, it just stormed the nation. And it's called Listen to the Music. And it has this real cool groove that goes. Now, normally I would sing it up real high, but it's early in the morning, so I'm going to do it an octave down. I'll give you an example of what it would be like, real high. Don't you feel it growing day by day? But I'm going to go here. Don't you feel it growing day by day? People get ready for the news. Some are happy, some are sad. Gonna let the music play. What the people need is a way to make them smile. It ain't so hard to do if you know how. Gotta get the message, get it on through. Oh, now don't you ask me why. Oh, listen to the music. Oh, listen to the music. Oh, listen to the music all the time. There's an abbreviated version. They go on for 2 more verses, and so I'm not sure how much you want me to play of these things. Want me to do a little more?
Sure. I was working with a student who's actually in class in his iPad who he uses to communicate with. So yeah, that would be great. Love Doobie Brothers. So whatever you got, man, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Well, that's Listen to the Music. And we still play that. I'm in a band now with a bunch of old guys, and we're called Second Time Refined. And boy, I'm still doing this music. So it's what I know.
It's like the 70s music was like the best, like it never goes away.
Well, I think so. But then when I say statements like that, I'm thinking, well, it's probably because I was there and it's just inside of me. But I'm hearing young people. In fact, now don't tell my youngest son, Manny, this, but this is true. So he was playing some songs downstairs, and he came across this cool song, the one I just played for you a little earlier by Bread. And he really enjoyed that. And he came running up the stairs and he goes, Dad, there's this cool new band called Bread, and they got this cool song. And he didn't realize that was my era when I was in junior high.
Did you just play along like, oh, really? Tell me more.
I did. That was shame on me.
You have to, right? Yeah, that's what dads do. Yeah, it seems like the 70s really started in like more and more sounds were coming up, like kind of we're getting a little bit more out of the folk only sound a bit from the 60s and the rock and the soul, and starting to, even by the late 70s, you got the disco happening, and a lot more heavy electric guitar coming along. The 80s started doing more with. What did you see, like sort of the evolution happening during that decade?
Well, they started to refine certain sounds with the electric guitar, and they brought in pedals, and things were just getting really, really cool. And I think when it reached its pinnacle is when Boston came in and introduced a sound. Tom Schultz introduced this sound that was like over the top. We had never heard distortion from a guitar like that. And that just drew all America's attention towards this cool band called Boston. Now, unfortunately, I'm in a hotel room without any pedals, and so I can't produce that. But I mean, check out Boston, Peace of Mind, Long Time, and things like that. Guys were excellent musicians, and just I would really recommend checking them out. It's pretty cool. Now, during that time, I enjoyed soul and funk as well, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, one of my favorite bands. Just loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. In fact, we three grew up on that. They did a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and just enjoyed it. When I was doing rock and roll through the 70s and, junior high. And in fact, I played at a lot of the dances that we had at school. I didn't go to a lot of the dances and dance because I was one of the bands that played. And so there came this thing called disco. And it's like, it just came out of nowhere, and it was really, really happening. And so I shifted gears and started moving into the disco realm because people liked it. We got a horn section. They came and they started playing with us, and we entered this thing called the Yakima Speedway Battle of the Bands. And there was something like 20 bands there, and a lot of the bands were old rock and rollers doing Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and things like that. And here comes this one band. We get on and we do Disco Inferno, Brick House, La Freak, and things like that. And long story short, we won the competition. It was like $1,500, and the rock and rollers hated us, but the crowd just went nuts. It was fun.
That change is hard for a lot of people,
Yeah.
That's progress, right? Always. Well, we have a couple kids with questions. I'm looking at the clock. I don't want to get too far away from the kids' questions, and then definitely some more tunes if you got it in you.
Sure.
Kaylee, are you available, Kaylee, to ask your question? Kaylee, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi. Okay. Have you ever made an album?
I did. It was back in 1983, I think, 82, 83. And it was called Tough All Over. Now, I was in a band. We toured the Northwest back then. We went as far as Victoria, Canada, all the way down to California, Redding, California, way back east into Montana and some Colorado. And the name of our group was Export 233. In fact, if you go to some eBay sites, you'll punch in Export 233. They're still selling our album, which is kind of interesting. And there was a price tag on it for $200.
What? You're vintage.
This is eBay, though. They can ask anything they want.
I gotta go off script here. How many bands have you been in, George? Like every time you tell me a new band you're in.
1973 was my first band, and I went through probably. We started with a band called Polaris Stars. Didn't take too good. And that's when I switched. We need to go to Hear No Evil. So we did that, and then we switched gears again when I got the horn section. We ended up being called Cascade Connection because we lived in the Cascades. Then when I went on tour, we were called Export 233 and did that for years and years. And so a lot of bands. I've been in bands my whole life. And finally, I had to get my kids, the We Three band, they were in my band. And they played with me, fairs and different things like that. And then I realized, you know what? It's time for me to get off the stage and let them run with it. So that's when they became a We Three instead of a Us Four. And so they ran with it. Yeah, so I got off the stage for probably 15 years. And now I'm with some old guys that want to do it again. So here we go.
Xander, do you have your question ready, bud?
Is it Xander?
Who's your favorite band from the 70s?
I would probably say Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's a toss-up. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Doobie Brothers, or Boston. got to live in there. 3 bands. And if I had to zero down to 2, I can't zero down to 1. I would probably say Earth, Wind and Fire and Boston. Those are my 2 favorites.
Joey's going thumbs up in there. He likes to hear that. Mr. Miller, do you have a student that you'd like to have ask a question, or Miss O'Connor? Feel free to let me know or let us know here.
Yes, absolutely. Oscar has a question.
Okay.
Let's find Oscar. There he is.
All right.
Okay. Were your kids scared to go on to America's Got Talent?
Oh, say that once again. I heard a couple kids talking.
Scared to go on America's Got Talent on stage?
Yeah, I think the question was, did I go on America's Got Talent? Was that the question?
I think I heard were your kids scared when they went on America's Got Talent?
Oh, they weren't scared, but I was. See, I didn't know that I was going to be on there. I was up in the stand and just getting ready for them to do their song. And then I get this radio call that said, Dad, they want you down on stage. And I'm going, oh no, because I knew exactly what they were going to do. They did. They put a big camera right in my face and they wanted to see my reaction. So the one who was scared was me.
Well, you looked great on America's Got Talent. I don't know if you've got any offers for modeling since then, but you look good up there.
Well, I wear a Greek fisherman's hat well, so maybe they'll call me.
Yeah, they could use you as a model. All right, let's take a break from the question. You want to play us another song from the 70s, and we'll have a jam on a Friday here?
Say it again?
I said, do you want to play another song? We'll take a break.
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay, one real cool thing, probably 1972, 73 out there came this guy that was he just really took America by storm. His name was Steve Miller, and he did songs like, Swing Town. I'm not going to do that because you need a bass player. But what I will do is it's called Jet Airliner, and it's a pretty cool song. It goes something like this. Leaving home out on the road, I've been down before. Riding along on this big old jet plane, I've been thinking about my home. But my love life seems so far away, and I feel like it's all been done. Somebody's trying to make me stay, I've got to be moving on. Whoa, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Whoa, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Say goodbye to my friends at home, goodbye to people I trusted. I've got to go out and make my way. I might get rich, I might get busted, but my heart keeps calling me backwards as I get on this 707. Well, I'm riding high, got tears in my eyes. You've got to go somewhere before you get to heaven. Whoa, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Touching down in New England town, feel the heat coming down. I've got to keep on keeping on, big wheels keep spinning around, and I'm going with some hesitation. That I can surely see, and I don't want to get caught up in a little funky kicks going down in the city. Oh, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you're done.
That was so great, George. We loved it. We were just playing Steve Miller Space Cowboy before you got here, so
Oh, good.
we were prepped for that. So that was great. Miss O'Connor, did you guys have any questions, or Mr. Miller? I want to make sure you guys have time for your kids, you know?
Nathan, he had a question and it got asked, so he's creating another question. I'm not sure if it's gotten done.
He's
Nathan,
ready.
are you ready for your question?
Yes. Yes. Can you press it?
Who is the most famous singer you've met?
Who's the most famous singer I've met?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. I can't think of a singer. It seems to me there's a lady by the name of Sandy Patty that I met. You probably don't have a clue who she is, but I met her. But the most famous person that I think he actually sang. I was actually in Los Angeles, California at the place called the Comedy Store. Okay. And I'm in there and I had to go to the bathroom. So I actually went to the bathroom and I was the only one in the bathroom. And then all of a sudden, somebody else went to the bathroom with me. And I turned over and lo and behold, it was Robin Williams. Oh, couldn't believe it. That was really interesting. And the kids, I don't know if they know, anybody ever see the movie Hook? It was Peter Pan. That's Robin Williams. And so I got the jump on him and got the first, the joke. And I said, oh, you do this too. And he says, there's a comedian in every crowd. So that's probably the most famous person that I've met.
That's cool. Great story. Kelly, did you have any more questions from your kids?
Yes, Morgan would like to ask a question.
All right, Morgan.
So, here's my question.
Hi, Morgan.
Well, when your kids was recently glad to advance in America's Got Talent?
Were they glad to advance? Oh, absolutely. It was the surprise of their life. They didn't realize that they were being scouted out. That America's Got Talent was looking for a sibling band. And so they're just looking through the internet and they found this band and they thought, oh, great. Well, we three, that's it. And then they heard the story about their mom dying. And then they heard this song and they said, we got to have you. And so they actually bypassed all of the tryouts and all that stuff. They went right to the first show. And they were very surprised because it moved very, very quick. And they also feel very blessed because of it. It was pretty cool. I remember, this is kind of an interesting thing. I didn't know how this was going to work out, but I remember their mom and I talked about someday they're going to have some sort of a national stage. Not sure how that's going to happen, but we just both felt that would happen. And lo and behold, here it is. It's circumstances that we didn't recognize could be the case, but it's what happened. So yes, they were very surprised and very happy.
Well, I'm happy for them too.
I sure appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, awesome.
You're
Joey,
welcome.
Joey, do you have a question, buddy? You did great yesterday with your question. I thought maybe you'd have one too. Joey's coming to us from Woodward, Iowa, Mr. Humlie.
Joe, boy, you're a long way from home, or maybe that is home.
What's your favorite song from Boston?
Oh, I would say it's between two, but I think I can narrow it down. There's a song called Long Time. It's been such a long time, I think we should be going. But I think Peace of Mind is probably even more so my favorite.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah, it's called Peace of Mind. And I just really recommend taking a listen to that. It's just the coolest thing. In fact, let me tell you one other thing about that particular song, Peace of Mind. We had a school called Humlie School of Music in McMinnville, and some of the advanced guitar students, and some of them were your age. Okay, so keep this in mind. That was one of the songs we would teach them. So there would be some acoustic players, acoustic guitar players, some electric guitar players, there were some keyboard players, there were drummers, and all of the teachers were teaching them that song. And then we would do this great big concert where they would all come together and perform Peace of Mind. And I'm telling you what, it was the most exciting thing. So I'd encourage you guys to check into it, try to learn it.
We're coming towards the end of our awesome time with you, George. Is there a chance you could take us out with a song?
Sure, but what I want you to do is I want you to be able to sing it with me. Can you guys all do that?
I think all of us could probably. Yeah, we could do
All
that.
right. And if you feel like getting up and dancing, that might be cool too. All right. This happened in 1976, and I know this because it was the bicentennial. Now, you know what the bicentennial is? That's when the country 200 years prior to that, 1776, 200 years later, 1976, we were selling the bicentennial. And this song came out in that year, and I was in an all-school assembly, and this is the song they played. Never heard it before, but oh, it was pretty cool. Play that funky music. Hey, wait, jam, man. Well, once there was a boogie singer playing in a rock and roll band. Never had no problems, no. Burning down the one night stand. Everything around me got you down and feeling so low. But I decided quickly, yes I did, to just go down and check out the show, yeah. And they were dancing and singing and moving to the groove. And just when I heard them, somebody turned around and shouted, play that funky music, boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music right, boy. Lay down and boogie and play that funky music till you die. Till you die. Oh, till you die. Here comes the end. Everybody sing it. Well, play that funky music. 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 Lay down and boogie. Lay down and boogie. Lay down and boogie. And play that funky music too. And here's the big ending. I would stand up in a chair, drummers would be rolling, and I'd jump off the chair. Hey, can I show you one more thing? Not a song, but every rock guitar person from the 70s, this is what we wore. Now look real close. They're socks, guitar socks. I tell you what, they make you play better.
Was that just in your band, or was that like what Steve Miller was wearing as well? I didn't notice that.
Well, I think he wore guitar underwear, but not socks.
Look at Joey, he's like blushing. That's good stuff. Well, gosh, George, we have to get going, but that was so fun to have you and to learn about the music from the 70s. Thanks so much for being our guest today. It was great.
Oh, love to come back. Let me know. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.